皆さんこんにちは。カウンセラーセキュリティジャパンの宮村です。今日はですね、我々のパートナーである台湾のTeamT5 社のですね、チャールズさんに来ていただきまして、最近のさまざまなサイバーに関わるですね、トピックをお話しいただこうというふうに考えております。でまず最初にですね、ご存知の方も多いと思いますけれども、まずは T5 がどんな会社なのか、少しチャールズさんにお話をしていただきたいなというふうに思います。Okay, Charles, welcome. And would you give brief introduction of T5 to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. This is Charles from TeamT5. TeamT5 is a Taiwan-based cybersecurity company. We focus on doing threat intelligence research with our major customer base in Taiwan and Japan. We track lots of state-sponsored actor activity, including like China, North Korea, their activity in the APEC region.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so we have prepared several other questions for you. And let's start with something kind of generic but important. So what do you see or what do you observe about the latest or overall cyber threat landscape in Asia, particularly in Taiwan and Japan? Please share your observation and insight with the audience.
Sure. I would say 2024 is an interesting year. First, actually, according to our statistic, there are more than 100 countries having their election campaign over the year. So we consider it to be a year of election. And with all this campaign, many threat actors also try to influence this election results. So in the early 2024, Taiwan, we had our presidential election. During the whole process, we see lots of attack campaign, especially from China. They try to influence our result. And later, like Japan, South Korea, or even the United States, we all see similar phenomena. So we believe this kind of influence operation or social media weaponization will be more popular in the near future. And this state-sponsored actor will try their best to utilize their influence to achieve their goal, to maximize their national interest. That would be the first thing I want to share. And second, in 2024, we see lots of, I would say, because of the conflict between China and the US, actually, this kind of Chinese APT has become a big problem for United States. So American FBI, they indicted several Chinese individual or even company just in 2024. So for example, like Beijing Integrity Tech, or they are behind Flex Typhoon, or like Sichuan Silence Technology. All this company, FBI has proved they are helping Chinese government to conduct all this kind of attacks. And in the meantime, TeamT5 also tracked this attack, their related campaign for many years. We see interesting phenomena that in maybe 10 years ago, their attack activity might be persistent, but now sometimes their campaign could be overlapped. So for example, in their initial intrusion, that could be done by Group A. In the lateral movement, that could be handed over to another group. So according to our research, we believe the unique ecosystem in China, because CCP, they tend to outsource. They have this kind of civil military fusion concept. So they want to weaponize their civilian. So this kind of civilian company, civilian hacker become their weapon So they help their government. In the meantime, they cooperate and they compete with each other to complete all this project. So that's another things we would like to highlight. And lastly, cybercrime activity. So as I mentioned in the past, TeamT5, we focus on state-sponsored attacks. However, in recent years, when we track this state-sponsored activity, our research led us to some cybercrime activity, including like crypto mining, ransomware activity, or even some search engine optimization. We consider it to be very interesting. And combined with overall analysis, we reach a conclusion because many of these threat actors, state-sponsored threat actors, they could be actually civil company or civil hacker. So they have their own life to support. But probably because of the economic situation in China, so their budget from government is not as much as in the past. So in that circumstances, they have to conduct extra cybercrime activity to support their own life. So that's some outstanding phenomena we would like to highlight.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we also had many important elections last year in Japan too. And the kind of disinformation or any particular information operation was a serious threat to the society. And now more and more people just watch or listen to what they want so that they can be rather easily, manipulated by some, adversary. So it's really a difficult and scary situation right now. Going back to the presidential election in Taiwan, there were two candidates. One is the successor of the former president, and the other is more kind of pro-China.
Yes.
And eventually, the current president won. During the process, did you see actually the actual the influence which changed the behavior of the people in Taiwan? So we know the results, so that it was not that successful probably, but still, did you see any, the sign of such influence operation actually change the behavior of the people in Taiwan?
Yes, I would say there are a few cases in that election. It's not only about presidential, it's also about our congressman.
Oh, yeah.
So in that case, some congressman from DPP, the one anti-China, we have seen cases, his personal information, personal document were leaked, and maybe even with some manipulation online that affect people's thinking about him. And of course, we are not sure how the impact, but the result is some of these candidates lost in that campaign. So this kind of things happen. And actually, there are also cases that, as I mentioned, we have tracked Chinese influence operation against Taiwan for long. But this year, it's very unique. We see this threat actor, they are well prepared. They set up some website with deliberate design, and they pretend to be some whistleblower website. That kind of things is very common in Taiwan. And they prepare lots of materials, try to shame our former president or this president. He was a candidate at that time, saying they are doing something dirty. They have some black history, try to influence people's decision.
Okay, I understand. I see. Well, that kind of trend will continue, and we have to be very careful, and we need to be able to detect and take actions
Yes.
such disinformation. That is a national, security thing.
Yes.
All right, thank you. There are many other things I want to ask, but due to the time constraint, we should move on to the next one. The next one is about the phrase like Taiwan Yuji. It's a crisis in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly the news headline quite often. And, you are from Taiwan, we know, and you also have customers in Taiwan and Japan.
Mm.
Do you see any kind of common cyber threat affecting both countries, Japan and Taiwan, related to this Taiwan Yuji or crisis in Taiwan?
Yeah, actually there are a lot of things we can share, but over the past 10 years, we see many Chinese threat actors, they attack Taiwan and Japan in the meantime, using similar TTP, using similar weapons. And some recent cases would be, for example, MenuPass, also known by APT10 or MirrorFace. They were heavily targeting Japan for decades. However, in the past 2 years, we see they also try to infiltrate some Japan-related Taiwan entity because especially for the past years, Taiwan and Japan, the relationship is better and better. So we have more communication and collaboration. We believe this kind of changes make MenuPass want to know more about Taiwan, the things between Taiwan and Japan. That could be one example. And another example could be Okinawa, because unique geopolitical location of Okinawa. So people believe if China wants to invade Taiwan, then Okinawa is plays a key role. So we see some Chinese influence operation threat actor. They try to manipulate the Okinawa people's mindset. They want to make Okinawa people think, China is a good friend. Be a friend of China could bring them more business opportunity, and in the meantime, Japanese government treat them pretty bad. This kind of things. So we believe this influence operator try to prepare for some future conflict between China, Taiwan, and Japan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I see. Thank you very much. Those the so-called Chinese APTs who is targeting Taiwan, also targeting Japan, they are the same, the team or different, team from your observation?
Some of them specific targeting Taiwan, but as I mentioned, many of them overlapped. So, for example, there is one threat actor we have tracked for long that is called a Black Tech Publicly, and they are attacking. They have mutual interest in Taiwan and Japan, and they are only interested in these two countries.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. One more thing is that we do also work with many the government sector, and we often hear that the cyber and the influence operations is a kind of symptom of following kinetic, warfare. So, if you see any sudden, the peak or the surge of cyber attack or any new type of influence operation, it's a kind of signal that we need to be aware or we need to watch carefully. What do you think?
Oh, you mean if we see a surge of influence operation?
Yeah, right. So that what it means that there should be some motivation for the adversary to do it. So that if we see any particular influence operation or cyber attack, do you see it can be the possibility of a sign of any the following attack, or so that not just the crisis management, type of thinking, but you are observing many, cyber attacks and influence operations. So if you see what you will do when you see sudden spike or any changes in the pattern of cyber attack or influence operation.
If we see a surge of influence operation, we will consider there is something big in geopolitical situation that trigger this kind of influence operation. So, for example, in 2024, there are several military drill, and corresponding with that, we see influence operation originated from China, try to manipulate how people's feeling about this military operation. And also, election could be notable campaign. Yeah, they want to manipulate it. So this kind of things. But going back to APT case, if we see a surge of APT attack activity, we will consider it to be more dangerous. For example, around 3 years ago, in 2022, we see several Chinese APT, they show very high interest in transportation, especially in Taiwan. So we were worried about that discovery because transportation is very important for its role to mobilization during some wartime or that kind of things. And it has some very unique personal information. So if they can pick into this company, entity doing this kind of transportation, they can intercept lots of intelligence. So during that period of time, we worry, China might want to do something against Taiwan. And some recent case might be several Chinese actors showed high interest in some geospatial entities in Taiwan and Japan. So we worry they might try to collect this kind of information for their future military operation preparation, that kind of things.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much. Let's move on to something more the technical one. And do you see any kind of notable changes or shift in the threat access TTPs in recent years?
Yes. Actually, there are a lot. Nowadays, EDR has become central mechanism for big enterprise or for government entity. And we believe common of EDR has driven threat actor to change their TTP as well. So the first thing we see is, if go back to 10 or 5 years ago, you will hear lots about spear phishing, something like that. But now, for the past 3 years, most, especially Chinese threat actor, their intrusion starts from compromised edge device. Because this edge device usually has no EDR or some security product monitoring them. And because of the nature of this edge device, it is easier for threat actor to find a vulnerability inside it. So that's some reason the threat actor changed their initial intrusion method. And after that, when they try to do some lateral movement to bypass EDR detection, they will adopt lots of LOLB, meaning leaving of lamb binary. They will adapt some existing tool that is common to like network administrator. The reason is if they adapt their proprietary malware or tool, this can be easy pinpoint and create feature by EDR or antivirus products. But if they adapt this kind of LOLB, these security products can hardly just flag this observation as malicious. So that's second changes we would like to highlight. And the third one, nowadays there are so many security researcher and company track this threat actor activity. So they also adapt some mechanism to prevent themselves from being tracked. So in case of Chinese APT, they build network that is called Operational Relay Box Network, or abbreviation ORB network. So the mindset is simple. They will try to compromise lots of edge device, home router, and build them into mesh network or a botnet. So, in case they want to conduct some malicious activity like intrude your website or spread some information operation, they will first dial into this ORB network, and their traffic will be routed several times inside this network, and finally they will find an exit node and start their operation. So by doing so, if we want to trace back to their real location, we have to hop several times back, and it creates a great challenge for researchers like us. Yeah, so that's some TTP changes we observed.
I see. Sound like those actors are quite kind of creative and
Yes.
yeah, they are very smart, and I believe that there are so many, the resources they have,
Yes.
and well, how we can counter such situation? I mean, if you have any kind of recommendation, please share your insight with us.
Yes, I think that goes back to the core concept of our company. So we have a core concept. So in order to design an effective defense mechanism, first you have to understand your enemy. It means who they are and what is their purpose, and how do they usually conduct their operation, what kind of unique capability or unique weapons they have. Once you have this kind of knowledge, then you can start thinking about how to find an effective solution, how to address this security problem. And I believe that's also the core mindset of threat intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand. Thank you very much. So now it's a good time to talk about threat intelligence, I guess.
Yep.
And as you know, we have been in this industry for some time, and threat intelligence, or cyber threat intelligence, is kind of the buzzword we often hear, but sometimes it's a little bit of mystery for many people.
Yeah.
And many, the special terms like DDW, ransomware gangs, data leaks, and without fully understanding those implications.
Yeah.
So that from your perspective, how T5 the capability in terms of intelligence can help people or your customers and survive in this very difficult situation.
Yes, we have similar experience with you a lot. Many customers came to us. They hear threat intelligence, and even some military guy, they say, his higher command asked him to find some intelligence in deep and dark web, but they don't know what they are really looking for. So I think in order to utilize threat intelligence, first you need to know what kind of intelligence requirement you have, meaning what kind of problem you have in your cyber defense, what kind of asset is critical for your corporate that you want to protect. With that, what kind of threat actor could be interested in attacking you, and what kind of capability they have. So with all this, then you can start doing threat intelligence research, and that will make your defense mechanism even better and better. So that's a flow of threat intelligence.
Okay, understand. Well, when we do deal with the threat intelligence, I mean, the challenges we see is that there are too many information,
Yes.
intelligence, and most of them are not quite relevant for us or for the customers.
Yes.
I don't think they are the noise, but still, we were really keen to know what exactly we need to know,
Yes.
but it's so difficult.
Yeah.
So, in your the system or service, how customer can to identify what they really need to know rather easily?
Yeah. I think you mentioned some key factor of threat intelligence. We believe in TeamT5, we believe useful intelligence needs to be actionable. So that also reflects how we start our research. Because of that reason, our threat intelligence research always start from a specific real attack or from a specific threat actor. We will do our best, either from an incident response, either from some malware or hacking tool analysis, or from some threat actor CNC server analysis. So with that, we will conduct very deep research, lots of reverse engineering, lots of pivoting analysis, and we will try to depict a whole picture of the attack to our customer, transfer our research into actionable intelligence that includes, for technical part, lots of IOC that relate with a lot of context information and operational intelligence, how you should conduct your investigation, how to facilitate your incident response. And also from strategic point of view, we will create some very high-level summary to our customer to brief current trend that could impact them.
Okay,
Yeah.
Understand. Thank you. And one last question is about a little bit more about a T5 itself, and how your the team actually collect the cyber threat intelligence. And we also work with many intelligence vendors from US or European nations or other part of the world. And what characteristic or strengths you have against those non-Asian intelligence vendors?
I would say we follow the same mechanism with those Western vendors. But a new unique position of TeamT5 is we are from Taiwan. We are in Asia. And our research result tells us Asia is the most noise area for this threat actor, especially state-sponsored attacker. So because we are in the front line, and so we can intercept a lot of things. But on top of that, we also have a dedicated researcher and analyst team. Their daily work is to track all these emergent threats, all this threat actor activity, and they will spend lots of time to do lots of hands-on research and investigation and turn all the research result to threat intelligence feed to help our customer.
Okay, and thank you very much. I know your company very well. And I always notice that you have very many kind of young, talented professionals.
Yes.
How you can find those resources and hire? That is one of the challenges that we see. So that if you can share your secret, that will be also helpful.
Sure. Yes, I think one unique part. Again, we are in Taiwan, but Taiwan is very unique. We are famous for our high technology, and because of that, many Taiwanese young talent they show high interest in computer science, information engineering, this field. I think that could be one key factor. And second, TeamT5 started our company in around 10 years ago, and in the beginning, it is also very difficult for us to find a good team member. So we decided to start from scratch. So we try to approach some university student, find those young talent. They are good in computer science, assembly language, or programming, but they don't have real experience in threat intelligence. So we decided to teach them hands by hand. And it is kind of a painful process in the beginning, but gradually, year by year, we start from 1 and 2, and now we become more and more famous in Taiwan. And we also invested a lot in a security community to attract these young guys that are interested in cybersecurity. So I think that's something we are doing.
Okay, great. Thank you. So this is the conclusion of this interview, but please give some the message to the audience in Japan.
Okay, as I mentioned in the very beginning, we have the biggest customer base in Taiwan and Japan, and we are facing the same threat, the same enemy. So we believe we need to unite together, we need to communicate more, then we can fight against probably the biggest enemy in the world.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
どうもありがとうございました。今日はチャールズさんにですね、いろいろとその資産ともお話をいただきました。今後もですね、このようなこういうインタビューを続けてですね、いろんなメッセージを皆様にお届けできればと思います。今日はどうもありがとうございました。Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.